Today, the Trump administration rushed out a plan for historic tax cuts, high on hyperbole, but with only a dollop of detail. The list of aspirations looked more like an attempt to beat the 100-day mark in the Trump presidency rather than a serious proposal to reform the tax code. On paper, everyone's in for a break. Personal income taxes, corporate taxes, savings for the rich and the dead. But nothing on how to implement it or pay for it. Far from legislation, the president's bullet points today were loaded into a starting gun that signals the beginning of a race of lobbyists and special interests to rewrite America's 70,000-page tax code. Here's Major Garrett on the opening lap.
It's a great plan.
President Trump's plan calls for big corporate and personal tax cuts, but lacks basic details. The president wants to replace the current 7 personal income tax brackets with 3, with rates of 10, 25, and 35%. His proposal, however, did not give income levels for those brackets. White House economic advisor Gary Cohn. Do you have income brackets established that you're going to be proposing to Congress on that?
We're holding a bunch of listening groups right now.
Okay.
We have outlines. We have a broad brush view of where they're going to be.
There were some details. Eliminate the estate tax and alternative minimum tax. Preserve personal deductions for mortgage interest and charitable donations. And on the business side, lower the corporate tax rate from 35 to 15%. But taxes are about specifics. Cohn and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin came with precious few.
We will be back to you with very firm details.
When we have an agreement, we will release the details.
We will let you know these specific details at the appropriate moment.
And they had no projections of what the plan would do to the nation's deficit and debt.
This will pay for itself with growth and with reduction of different deductions and closing loopholes.
The nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget called the promise of economic growth magic beans and warned there is no golden goose at the top of the tax cut beanstalk, just mountains of debt. Mnuchin was also asked if the president will release his tax return so the country could judge what his tax plan will do for his bottom line.
The president has no intention. The president has released plenty of information.
Mnuchin today confused the annual federal deficit, about $600 billion, with the national debt held by the public. That stands at nearly $15 trillion. Scott, that's a common mistake for budget amateurs, but not Treasury secretaries, even a newly minted one.
Major Garrett for us at the White House.